Hey everybody. So this is the group, the combined wolf packs getting ready to move back to Alaska. Do you still remember Alaskan bush people? One of the most popular TV series that changed the narrative or perhaps restructured how you view reality shows. Have you ever wondered what has become of them lately since the show took a break and never returned to your screen? Think no more. Brace up and let's go on a ride as we reveal the mysteries surrounding Alaskan bush people cast members who are dead or in jail. The Alaskan Bush People is an American docudrama-style reality television series that thrills its viewers by capturing the tumultuous lives of the Brown family as they attempt to survive the harsh conditions of a remote wilderness. The series premiered on the Discovery Channel on the 6th of May, 2014, and within a short time, its popularity spread across the globe, prompting the production of more episodes. The reality TV show revolves around a family of 9 who, as a matter of their will, choose to abandon their comfortable lifestyle so that they can become skilled in living above inconveniences by strictly depending on each other's help. It showcases the many challenges a family faces in surviving a wilderness that is laced with scarce resources. No shelter, wildlife, and little to no food for sustenance. The family shelter is a single room as opposed to the comfort they left behind, and sadly it was handcrafted by them, but not to their taste as they had to make do with the available resources. The adventure of getting food makes it more interesting as the men have the singular duty of going out to the field to fish or hunt for their protein. The family is left with the option of gathering food from the Alaskan forest, and depending on what they find, they could end up with berries, mushrooms, and other plants. This is what they have to cope with while living their everyday life as if nothing ever happened. If their desired food could not be found within the confines of the forest, then Amy Brown, who bears the responsibility, goes out to buy it. The shocking part of it is that Amy only makes those purchases twice a month, and if they run out of stock within that month after her purchase, they have no choice but to fend for themselves. This show was the talk of the moment, and every single episode came with lots of suspense that fans couldn't even imagine missing for a second. However, just when fans were hooked on the show, it came to a halt. It was rumored that several circumstances behind the scenes led to the cancellation of the TV show, and since then, fans have been left with a glimmer of hope, hoping that it will return. However, their hopes seem not to have yielded any positive results, and fans no longer contemplate the show but wonder what has become of the Brown family. Since the announcement of the TV show stoppage, the Brown family has had several ups and downs. From visible transformations to unexpected losses and personal achievements, the Browns have faced some of the peculiarities that are limited to humans since the series began. Let's take a closer look at what has happened to the family cast members, whether they are dead or in jail. Starting from the first on the list is Billy Brown, the head of the Brown family. Billy Brown was born on the 3rd of December, 1952 in Fort Worth, Texas. He was raised in a comfortable upper-middle-class suburb and had a childhood very different from that of his kids. A series of unpleasant events plagued Billy's life, forcing him into the Alaskan bush as a means of escape. At the tender age of 16, tragedy struck him when his father, mother, and sister lost their lives in a fatal plane crash. While still trying to recover from the pain during this time, he was concurrently coerced into being emancipated from his family, which ultimately meant that he gave up his rights to the family fortune. Billy wound up wandering the country during his teenage years, and when he could not find anything tangible, he settled as a commercial fisherman in the North Pacific. Shortly after, he met his beautiful wife Amy, and they had 7 children together: Matthew, Joshua, Bear, Gabriel, Noah, Snow, and Rain. Billy led his family to the Alaskan wild, but not without some trouble. Before his tragic demise, he starred in the docudrama reality series Alaskan Bush People for 12 seasons, and was often referred to as the powerhouse of the show. Over the years, Billy struggled with severe breathing issues, which only came to light in 2019. At first, these breathing problems were believed to be related to his lungs, but a medical diagnosis revealed that it was due to Billy's weakening heart. Doctors repeatedly advised him to leave the high-altitude mountains for the sake of his health. However, Billy, ever the mountain man, refused. According to The Sun, he made it clear to his family that he would rather die on the land he loved than live somewhere else. Tragically, on the 7th of February 2021, Billy lost his life after suffering a sudden seizure at 68. Bear Brown wrote on Instagram, "We are heartbroken to announce that our beloved patriarch, Billy Brown, passed away last night after suffering from a seizure. He was our best friend, a wonderful and loving dad, granddad, and husband, and he will be dearly missed. He lived his life on his terms, off the grid and on the land, and taught us to do the same. We plan to honor his legacy and continue his dream going forward. We ask for your privacy and prayers during this difficult time. God bless everyone." This was a huge blow not just to the Alaskan Bush family but to everyone who had followed the show from inception. It was a difficult moment for the Alaskan Bush cast members, but just as expected, they didn't fail to honor what their father had told them. In a first look at the upcoming season 13 of the Discovery Family series, Billy's wife Amy Brown and their daughters Rain and Snowbird, as well as sons Bear, Matt, Bam Bam, Gabe, and Noah, reflect on his legacy. "Dad always told us one day we would have to carry on without him," begins Bam Bam. "But we weren't ready for him to go." Amber Nicole Branson was born on the 8th of February 1976 in Wichita Falls, Texas. She is the daughter of Larry Renee Branson of Springtown and Judy Diane. She was a kind and generous person with a big heart, loved and admired by many. She was a pure representation of calmness in its entirety. She began showcasing her skills in the early seasons of the Alaskan Bush reality TV show. Appearing in just a few episodes, Amber got married to her husband Sean Austin, and together they had 2 children, Braden Austin and Jace Austin. However, she later parted ways with him for reasons best known to her, and up until the day of her passing, they never reconciled. As time went on, she was plagued with mental health issues, and in a bid to salvage the situation, she fell into the welcoming hands of substance use. She tried her best to curtail the problem, and for the first few years it looked like she was winning the battle until she relapsed. Amber started the fire at her home in Hudson Oaks, Texas. According to Amy's brother, Les Branson, he told reporters that local police were called to check on a woman lying face down in her front yard. When police arrived on the scene, they found Amber with severe burns over 90% of her body. He said she told the police that her injuries were self-inflicted. When questioned why, she said it was a faith test. Amber reportedly shared the home with her boyfriend, but it is unclear whether he was present at the time of the incident. However, her boyfriend later found an empty can of gasoline that had been in the garage tossed over a neighbor's fence. When asked directly what she had used to light the fire, Amber reportedly said insect repellent. Amber was taken to a Dallas hospital and rushed to the burn center when police found her. According to Les, her injuries were deemed non-survivable according to doctors. After being taken off life support at the family's request on April 30th, she succumbed to her injuries early the next day. Friends and family couldn't wrap their heads around the tragedy, but expressed how grieved they were upon hearing of her painful demise. She was a kind, generous person with a big heart who was loved and admired by many, but who unfortunately also suffered from a debilitating disease. She will live in our hearts forever. Amy Brown couldn't hold up for too long because it seems there was a bond that held them together as she was her niece. Stricken by this news, the Alaskan Bush cast members struggled to keep up the flow, and amazingly, they managed to scale through it. The next on the list is Bear Brown, who happens to be one of the sons of the patriarch Billy Brown. Bear Brown was born as Solomon Isaiah Freedom Brown on June 10, 1987. He is the 3rd son of Billy Brown and Amy Brown, and also the first to have been raised in Alaska. He was raised alongside his siblings in the wilderness, and for a moment, no one thought he would love the Alaskan journey. However, he fell deeply in love with the adventure. He grew up learning how to hunt, fish, build shelters, and survive in harsh conditions. He also developed a love for adventure and extreme sports, earning him the nickname King of Extreme. He attended school at home with his brothers and sisters using books and nature as his teachers. He never attended a formal school or college, but he learned a great deal from his parents and his own curiosity. He also enjoyed reading comic books and watching movies on a generator-powered TV. He dreamed of becoming a superhero or a movie star someday. Bear Brown met Raven Adams for the first time in 2018 at their brother Noah's wedding. It was love at first sight because at the time Raven was assisting her mom Cassidy, who was in charge of photography. Their love took a successful path, and Bear confessed later that she was a complete package. Bear Brown began his television career in 2014 when he joined the cast of Alaskan Bush People. With his unusual talents, he brought a unique dimension to the show, and no one would have diminished his potential if the show had continued. Bear is known for his energetic and fearless personality as well as his love for nature and animals. He is known for often climbing trees, running on all fours, and howling at the moon. However, he has also faced an unforeseen challenge that landed him in jail, which was the last thing he expected. Shortly after, he and his newfound love began to nurture their friendship. They were met with stiff differences that soon escalated into a time bomb that exploded. Bear found himself in trouble with the law after being arrested on an alleged domestic violence charge. Before this time, Bear and his wife had been living near the family ranch with their son until he fell into the hands of law enforcement agencies. On March 11, 2022, Bear was arrested near his home on fourth-degree assault DV charges, and he was brought to Okanagan County Jail. After being arrested, Bear spent the weekend in jail and was released without bond. According to the police, the Alaskan Bush star had no alcohol or substances in his system and did not strangle or choke Raven. Bear entered a plea deal in April 2022, and ever since, he has changed to become a responsible father. He and his family have been keeping a low profile, pending when the TV show will kick off again. Joshua Brown was born on September 18, 1984, making him the second oldest of the Brown siblings. Joshua, from the onset, had always been a calm-looking dude who just wanted to explore the things written in the tablet of his heart. Growing up in the Alaskan wilderness, he developed a unique set of survival skills along with his family. His early years were marked by a nomadic lifestyle, living off the grid and adapting to the challenges of the Alaskan bush. His nickname, Bam Bam, originated from his childhood habit of running into walls, reminiscent of the life of the Flintstones character. Joshua seems to be somewhat different from his siblings because his zeal for technology and education knows no bounds, and even after the show's shutdown, he continues to have a good time in that regard. Bam Bam became a central figure in Alaskan Bush People when it premiered on the Discovery Channel in 2014. It was obvious to viewers that Bam Bam wasn't just a passerby but came to add a few cents of his own to the show. Joshua's role often involved problem-solving and implementing technological solutions to aid the family's survival. His analytical skills and quiet demeanor gave him an edge over various matters. And not just that, fans and viewers loved him. Bam Bam's contributions to the family's projects, such as building shelters and devising hunting strategies, were frequently highlighted on the show. His expertise in electronics and machinery proved invaluable in many of the family's endeavors. Joshua Brown met Allison Kagan, a former producer of the Alaskan show, and as time went on, they fell in love. They began dating in November 2016 after initially being friends. Shortly after, their relationship took a different path, and Joshua's life underwent a significant turn. This relationship led to periods of absence from the show as Bam Bam chose to spend time away from the family to focus on his personal life. Though his presence on social media, particularly Instagram, where he shares updates about his life and projects, has been laudable, his appearance on the show was minimal. Just as he was known for something unique in the TV show, his life was not without a dreadful path that made people question his authenticity. This all began when the Brown family faced significant legal troubles in 2014. Then Billy, Amy, and 4 of their children were charged with 60 counts related to fraud and theft. The charges were leveled against them solely because they had lied about living in the state from 2011 to 2013 so that they could receive benefits from the Alaska Permanent Fund. Their plot was ultimately revealed, and without exaggeration, they had to pay for the penalty. However, to resolve the case, the family entered into a plea deal, permanently putting an end to any further issues. Before it was finally resolved, Joshua and his dad, Billy Brown, were forced to go through something they never expected. They both pleaded guilty to one misdemeanor count of second-degree unsworn falsification as part of a plea deal in a criminal case that has called into question just how long the cast of Discovery Channel's Alaskan Bush people really lived in Alaska. They were both sentenced to 30 days in jail for lying on their Alaskan Fund dividend applications. In return for their guilty pleas, Billy Brown must return $7,956 in improperly obtained dividends and pay a $10,000 fine. Joshua Brown must pay back $1,174 in dividends and pay a $2,000 fine. They both must complete 40 hours of community service. They can never apply for the dividend again. This was a difficult moment for the father and son, but despite all the challenges, they persevered and maintained a strong legal stance thereafter. Beyond the show, Joshua has pursued various personal interests and business ventures that he believed were crucial for his well-being. He has developed a passion for photography, often sharing his work on social media platforms. Additionally, his interest in fishing has been well documented both on and off the show in a commendable manner. In recent years, he has focused on expanding his technological skills. Reports suggest that he has been involved in projects related to electronics and renewable energy. While specific details concerning his business ventures are not widely publicized, his technological inclinations have significantly influenced his path. Rain Brown, as she is fondly called, isn't without a scar or tumult, even as an Alaskan cast member. Raindrop Brown was born in Hoonah, Alaska, in the United States, and she is the daughter of Amy and Billy Brown. She is the youngest of her siblings, and as such was highly revered by her parents. From the show's inception, Rain was part of the cast and remained a cast member until the show was no longer aired. Fans of the Alaskan Bush people first saw Rain Brown as a little child, tending to the animals on her family's farm and playing with toys. Rain grew up alongside her 6 elder siblings in the mountainous region of Hoonah. According to her, she found their journey in the Alaskan bush somewhat disturbing, but because she had to keep up with the flow, she went along with her parents. She may have grown up in the bush, but she is different from other family members. Unlike others, she holds a strong sense of fashion. She likes to keep her clothes matched and as tidy as possible. Additionally, she enjoys reading books. Among the different books she has read, the Nancy Drew mysteries are her favorite. Among her siblings, she is the most controversial cast member on the Alaskan Bush TV show. First, it was the controversy that rocked her from an alleged involvement with TikTok. She was banned from TikTok for a brief period after joining the social media platform in January 2023. The reason for her ban was that TikTok thought her account was fake and impersonating someone else. Rain managed to recover her account after contacting TikTok support and verifying her identity. But before that, she had been repeatedly targeted on social media. Though that was supposed to be the last time, she got involved in yet another controversy that raised eyebrows. It all started again when speculations about her being married or engaged circulated on the internet as some of her fans noticed a ring in her Instagram posts. With no information available about her personal life at the time, the controversy didn't last long, but it had an impact on the Alaskan Bush cast member. Shortly after, she met Josiah Lorton while they were working in the same restaurant. Rain was a waitress and Josiah was the head chef. They became fast friends and eventually fell in love. She first revealed they were dating in 2024. Forever grateful for this guy. My love, my baby, my angel, my hero, my protector, my home, my forever. Few are lucky enough to find their someone, and very few are blessed enough to have found that someone so early in life, and especially at such a random place. She wrote in a January 2024 Instagram post, "Josiah has shown me what real, pure, genuine love is and continues to show me every day what a beautiful thing this life can be." Things eventually worked out for them, and by January 2025, they tied the knot. However, no one knew that in the months to come, they would face something they were not prepared for. Rain Brown and her husband Josiah Lorton were arrested for allegedly stealing $75,000 in cash, guns, and other items from a family member. Josiah's uncle, Jason Aist, reported the alleged burglary to authorities in Wakanda, Washington. According to court documents obtained, He claimed that Rain and Josiah had been on his rental home property where several items were stolen, and that they were his prime suspects. The items that were allegedly stolen included $75,000 in cash, $85,000 in gold, $8,000 in wine and champagne, one pistol valued at $2,500, a second pistol valued at $450, one revolver valued at $650, and a bong for marijuana valued at $250. Jason went further to make a shocking claim that Josiah was the only one with whom he had shared the location of the firearms, cash, and other valuable items, fearing that Josiah had only one reason to be at the property, to steal those items. Jason didn't stop there. He also said that while he was going through the frustrating moments of divorce, Josiah was the one who helped him stash his valuable items at his cabin. The report continued before mentioning Rain, whose real name is Catherine Raindrop Brown. Jason claimed that a neighbor had video footage of Josiah and Rain on his property. According to the report, an officer also said that he allegedly saw Josiah with guns similar to the ones that were reported stolen in the days after the burglary. He and Rain also allegedly had wine that matched the description of one of the bottles missing from Jason's home. Rain and Josiah were both arrested and charged with first-degree burglary and first-degree malicious mischief. Additionally, Rain Brown was charged with second-degree criminal trespass. They were eventually booked into the Okanogan County Jail in Washington and spent about 3 days in custody. However, they were later released without bail. Rain and Josiah appeared in court and pleaded not guilty to all charges and are expected in court on a later date. In a twist of events, Rain broke her silence after the arrest in a cryptic Instagram post. Although it's still unclear if she was throwing subtle shades at what happened to her, fans are speculating that both are related to the alleged burglary. "This is a Bible verse I give to y'all. Judge not, lest you be judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged," the post read. In the caption, Rain added, "It hurts my heart that my rainbows would choose to believe the lies that my old manager who stole $43,000 from me and mistreated me instead of maybe thinking, 'Oh no, who is saying this about Rain?' Not, 'Wow, what a waste.' It deeply hurts my heart. With all this said, I hope y'all will stick around to hear my side of the story. God bless y'all." While she and her husband await the later court date, they haven't failed to live their best life, hoping everything will be all right. Since the last aired version of the reality TV show, the cast members have encountered several pitfalls, and no one knows if, when the show eventually airs again, they will be able to maintain the flow they had before going on break. The truth also resonates within the fact that the Alaskan Bush TV reality show had to contend with some of the most frustrating rumors ever. And even if they manage to go on air again, their haters will not be afraid to come that far. Let's examine some of the accusations that were leveled against the Alaskan Bush People show before it went off the air. A major accusation that hit the family came from the outer sphere of viewers who deliberately downplayed the efforts of the Discovery Channel, which aired the show. Since the show's inception in 2014, the Discovery Channel has played a significant role in shaping public perception of the Alaskan Bush People. However, critics took it to the extreme when they accused the network of prioritizing entertainment value over authenticity, potentially encouraging the dramatization of scenarios. This eventually led to the propaganda that the scenes were staged, and the storylines were exaggerated to boost ratings. The channel's marketing strategies have also been scrutinized. Some viewers feel Discovery promotes an idealized version of wilderness living that doesn't align with reality. Questions have arisen about the network's ethical responsibilities in representing Alaskan culture and lifestyle. Critics suggest Discovery may overlook cultural sensitivities in favor of creating compelling television. The show's editing process, guided by Discovery, has been criticized for potentially misrepresenting events or character dynamics. This has fueled debates about the line between reality television and scripted entertainment. Additionally, the Brown family's portrayal as rugged wilderness dwellers has been challenged by those familiar with their actual living arrangements. Reports indicate that many have questioned why they were particularly secretive about spending significant time in more comfortable settings when not filming. It also reached the point where some residents of the Alaskan communities claimed the show misrepresents the realities of bush living, arguing that the Browns lack authentic survival skills and experience countless times. Several questions were also raised about the family's true connection to Alaska, with records suggesting that they had lived elsewhere for extended periods. This became a point of contention, and over time, they were criticized regarding the Alaskan Bush TV show on many grounds. Moreover, critics in the past few years have asserted that the self-acclaimed use of what is available in the wilderness experience was merely a facade to make the show appear genuine. The critics concluded that the Alaskan Bush family members didn't have to lie about their relationship with wildlife when it was clear that they relied greatly on modern resources rather than those portrayed on screen. These and many more challenges did the Alaskan Bush reality TV show have to endure while filming for all those years. Will they be able to navigate their way through all of these hindrances that have piled up like bricks? Only time can tell, but for now, we call it a day and refrain from going further. What are your thoughts concerning the Alaskan Bush People series? Can they stand the test of time if they were to begin airing again magically? Let us hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you find this video useful. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.